are back for episode 3 of the handstand series. Today we're going over the wall drills, so some wall drills that you guys can do to really progress in your handstands. Now this is going to be the most progressive video out of everything. The wall is going to be your best friend. Let me repeat that. The wall will be your best friend. Every single hand balancer, me, people that I've learned off, people that compete and perform in Cirque du Soleil and acrobatic gymnastics world championships, they still do handstands against the wall. I recently went to Miguel Santana's workshop, which is a video that I've posted on YouTube before. He is a self-made hand balancer. He's been training for like 8 years or something like that. He's incredible. He is absolutely amazing. If you guys think I'm good, go and have a look at him because he is amazing. And we did a 2.5 hour workshop, 2 days in a row for a whole weekend. And I'd say like 85% of my time was spent up against the wall. Everything that I was taught was up against a wall. And it's funny how that works because I obviously teach more beginner people, more the people that are starting out in their handstands, and I put them up against the wall majority of their workshop time. So for me, as an advanced hand balancer going to a workshop, it is exactly the same sort of setup than what it would be for you guys attending one of my beginner workshops or one of my intermediate workshops. So it's crazy how that works, but it literally shows you guys that the wall is going to be your best friend. So let's get started and chat through the exercise that we have today. All you're going to need is a wall. So perfect to do at home, especially in this quarantine time. All right, our very first exercise is an elbow stand kick up. This is just to get you guys ready to do a normal handstand kick up. If you are more intermediate and advanced than this, just go straight into your kick ups onto the wall. However, this is just to gain confidence for the people that have just done the beginner drills video. That was the previous video, video number 2, sorry. So if you guys have done that and you're wanting to transition to wall holds and stuff, we're going to start with an elbow stand. So the best thing for us to do is to place our elbows in a triangle position, palms facing on top of each other and cupping so that when you do place your head down, your head comfortably sits in between your hands. From here, we're going to set up our kick up position. So one leg bent up nice and close to our body, the other one is out. And we're going to push through one leg while driving through the other and really pushing hard so that we can get up to our inversion, join our legs together at the top, touching the wall, and come back down. There really isn't many people that I have taught or coached that can't do this drill, so hopefully it works for you. If you have any struggles, let me know in the comments below or hit me up on Instagram. And we can chat through some other drills for you to do. However, majority of the times if you can't do it, it's because you're not pushing enough. It's because you are falling down to the side. So what we need to focus on is having a nice stable base, so a nice stable triangle position in our arms, pushing against the ground, resting our head in our hands, not too much pressure in that area, and then doing our kick up as is. So give that one a go and then we'll move on to the next one. Exercise number 2, and probably our most important one, is just the basic kick up onto the wall. So a couple of points that we're going to chat through here, and you guys will see in the close-up videos the most important part. So very first thing is that we want to start in a lunging position. Our most comfortable leg to push up is in front. Our other leg is behind in that lunge position. So you're bending through the front leg, straightening out through the back leg. We're going to place our hands down by our sides. We don't want them all the way up because this is going to help us throw ourselves down, and we don't want that. So we're going to keep our hands down by our side and gently place them on the ground. Now, before we go up, we just got to remember the front leg that is bent in front of you is your push leg, meaning that you push against the ground, the power comes through that leg. That's all you're doing with that leg, is pushing against the ground and then joining it up with the other one. The leg behind us is the drive leg, which means it is driving momentum through the force, through the full circle that it's creating. And then that one's going to be the first one to touch the wall. So we've got a drive leg and a push leg. Now that we've gone through that, we'll focus on our hands. We're going to lift our hands up a little bit higher so that we're looking at our hands and we're spacing out our fingers to what they should be when we do get down to our handstand. Now, we're going to go for it all in, making sure that when you do get to the top, you're squeezing the legs together, gently touching the wall, and then coming back back down. Please try and think about when you are doing your handstand kick up not to use your shoulders, head, or back touching the wall. Really, the only thing that should be touching the wall is your feet. If you're struggling to get up because you're arching too much, also think about bringing your bum over and touching the wall. Just for now, just to get you up and feel that position. But perfectly, in a perfect little world, we want only our heels touching the wall and then coming back down into the exact same position as we landed. You guys should be able to go one for one consistently when you land, because you're landing in your starting position. So we're kicking up, coming back down. You should be able to go almost straight away with the way that you're landing. Now, the first thing I want to quickly go through in these zoomed in videos is the weight placement in my hands. We're not going to think too much about it for now because we're just trying to get consistency in our kick-ups, but we want to make sure that when we do kick up that we've got a little bit of weight in our fingers. We want it to be evenly spread throughout our hands, so palms is holding a bit of weight, fingers are holding a bit of weight. Then we also want to focus on pushing away from the ground. So trying to squeeze the gap between our shoulders and our ears. Arms are up nice and tight. Squeeze, 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 come back down. That's a major point when it does get to time, like when you're trying to get time on your hands in a handstand. And then we also just want to make sure, like I said before, that when we do kick up, our legs join and we softly touch the wall. If you're constantly banging on the wall as hard as you can, when you do kick up on the ground, you're not going to have that wall and you are going to go straight over. So making sure that we're really trying to control it. I say 10,000 hours makes a perfect skill. That's what everyone else says as well. So that means you should be at least doing 20,000 reps of your kick up before it gets perfect. We need to create muscle memory. So I expect you guys to be doing so many reps of this. When you do that many reps, you will start to realize the progress, and you'll understand why I told you to do so many, because you'll be like, right, she wasn't a maniac. She was doing it so that I create good habits, good muscle memory, and every time I kick up, it can be consistent. Next exercise that we are doing is we're going to go into a kick up, hold for a little bit, and then we're going to slightly come off the wall. Now, major point that you guys need to know before doing this. I do not want to see you guys arching super extensive just to get your feet off the wall. We want you to really squeeze against that natural arch that's going to happen because you are doing it up against the wall. And you're going to slowly come off the wall by placing the weight into your palms. So fingers on the ground, our weight is even on our hands. We're going to push through our fingertips, push against the ground to push our body back into our palms, our weight into our palms, so that we can bring our body off the wall, bring our feet off the wall, whatever else is touching the wall, we're going to bring that off. Now, this rep does not count unless you also return to the wall. If you come off and you fall down, that does not count. We want to be doing at least 5 to 10 of these a day if you are in your learning process. So coming off, holding for a slight couple of seconds, returning back to the wall, and then kicking down to our ending position. Really important on that one. If you are arching a bit, don't worry too much. I just know that if you are arching a lot, it's not going to work and you're just going to sort of slingshot back down to the ground. So really try and focus on those hips, those glutes. And you guys will see in the video when I'm doing this how much my fingers are working. My fingers are working overtime to get that shit off the wall. So making sure, again, really pushing through the fingers, keeping our core nice and tight only by not arching too much. You can't engage your core if you're arched. So if you feel like your core isn't working, it's because you're arching. You need to completely change the shape to then feel your core working. So don't stress too much about that, but we just want to get the drill working anyway. Okay, the very next drill. This one is quite hard. It requires a bit of strength. So if you cannot do this drill clean, then I do not want you going on to the following drill. So this is a tester. If you can do this, you feel comfortable with it, it's not hurting anywhere, you're not struggling, then you can move on to the next exercise as well. But if you cannot do this, then I want you to practice this until you can. So this is something that's gonna halt your journey. If you can do it, well, not your journey, but it's just gonna halt the next few exercises because I want you guys to be able to do this one first. So what we're gonna do, it's more of a strength skill. We are going to place our tummy on the ground. push up into a front support position, raise our legs onto the wall, and then we're going to slowly walk our feet up the wall whilst we're walking our hands into the wall. So it's just a tummy to the wall position, but because we're starting from a belly to the floor position, we really are focusing on strength. So this builds up your shoulder strength. This is something that is great, absolutely amazing for your upper body strength. So that's what we're going to do. As soon as you reach into the closest part that you can touch the wall without falling forward, we're going to walk back down to that starting position. Do this for a couple of reps or however many until you get tired, have a rest, and then we can move on to the next exercise. Alrighty, so if you guys have made it this far, good work. This means that you guys have successfully completed exercise number 4. This one is going to be our first of 2 exercises of a tummy to the wall position. So we're going to enter into our tummy to the wall position by starting, as we did before in our exercise, walking our feet up, walking our hands in. From here, we're going to have our hands about 2 hand spaces away from the wall. When we are here, we're going to keep 1 foot on the wall and bring 1 foot out the tiniest bit. There should only be about this much distance between each leg. We're going to hold that position and really try and align our leg that's off the wall with our body. Then we're going to bring it back and swap them in. When you do feel comfortable with this, you can even try keeping the legs in the same position, but slightly tilting so you're not touching the wall at all anymore. This one's a good one just for the balance. It's just to keep you guys, again, suctioned onto the wall with that foot, but also balancing the whole handstand by yourself. So it's a really, really good drill for that. You guys are going to understand exactly what I mean by where the weight is in your hands. If you feel it too much in your palms, then you need to push your shoulders over your hands a little bit more. So open up your chest, bring it forward, and then you'll start to feel that difference of balance between the 2 parts. Alrighty, lucky last episode. Alrighty, lucky last exercise. This one we are going to start with both our feet on the wall, tummy to the wall in a handstand. So we're going to enter the handstand like we do always, walk up to the wall, legs are together, and we're going to hold this position first. So we're going for time. This is the number 1 drill for time that I do with my clients for any beginner handstand, because it's going to create and it's going to help us get used to a nice body position. We would rather you guys learn a more of a dished handstand position than an arch, because it's harder to save an arch position than it is to dish. Dish, it just allows you to open a little bit and you're in that perfect position. Arch, you have to completely close to understand it, and it's just not going to work. Well, it hasn't anyway with past clients. So I always teach a dish tummy to the wall position majority of the times, while also training an arching position too, because we want somewhere in the middle. So we need to work the muscles on each side to stabilize us into that sweet spot, is what I call it. So when we are in this position, if your hands are relatively close to the wall, and when I say relatively I mean at least a hand space away from the wall, actually even less than a hand space, a finger space away from the wall, then I want your chest to be touching the wall. Chest and toes, and that is it. Everything else should be very close to the wall, but not touching. If your hands are any further than that, then we just want our toes touching. We always point our toes under the wall just because we don't want to be flexing our toes and getting used to that. Hand balance's way, circus's way, yoga, well, I guess yoga really does flex, but majority of people will point their toes. It allows them to engage throughout the whole leg. So we want to point our toes underneath, and we're just going to hold this position, locking out our shoulders. So same thing that we did with our drill before, locking out our shoulders, squeezing in through the tummy, only touching the feet with the wall, and we're going to hold that. Now, once you are comfortable with that, we are going to slightly come off the wall, and I mean slightly, the tiniest bit, because if you come off any more than that, you are going to fall forward, and we don't want that. So we're going to slightly come off the wall, get a bit of hold, return back to the wall. Come down, have a rest. Do the same thing again. I cartwheel up into my handstand and I cartwheel out of my handstand because I'm at that point where I can. If you're good at cartwheels, then it's a lot easier to try and do that to get up to the wall than to have to walk your hands in each time. So try that if you like. If you don't want to do that, then just go back to our normal walk in and walk out. This drill is going to be the most time consuming and energy consuming drill. So make sure that you guys save a bit of time and a bit of energy and a bit of power, strength until the end of this drill as well, because it's just such a hard one, but it's also the best one for handstands. So we'll do it a couple of times, have a feel of it, send me some videos if you guys want any feedback, preferably to my email, because I'm getting so many Instagram messages where it's just crazy. If you guys want to send me to my email, that way I can just get in contact straight through that. So my email is info@morganrosemoroney.com. I'll leave it below in the description. That is all we have for today. Those are the drills, those are the wall drills. Do them hundreds and thousands of times and you'll become a handstand pro. That sounds so hard, but it's the truth. If you have anyone out here telling you that they can teach you a handstand in a week, bullshit. I call bullshit. It is not possible. You need to know everything that goes on behind the scenes. Then you need to implement it for time and reps, and then you will get results. So that is it. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this instructional video. Leave a like, a comment, give me some love below. I am obviously putting this information out for you guys for free. It is my lifetime. It is my work. It is literally what I do for work. So I'm not really expecting much back in anything, but if you guys could give a little bit of support and love, share it on your socials, that would be amazing. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.